Question 3. James Auto report goods worth 120,000. He projected to make a profit of 20% on the selling price. Required. The selling price of the goods is 4 marks. In this case, we have the buying price. Buying price. He bought the goods at 120,000 shillings. And they project to make a profit of 20,000, 20% on the selling. Now this is equivalent to 100%. Let's determine what about 120%. If he sells and make a profit of 20%, it will be going to 120 multiplied by 120,000, everything of 100. In that case, have something to do with 144,000. That is the selling price of the goods. And then factorize the following expressions. That is 12x squared minus 13x plus 1. How do we factorize? We have many formulas, but let me just use the factorization method. Is going to be A, that is B, then that is C. But we have A, C, and then B. S we are just taking that is 12 multiplied by 1. In that case we have 12. And then B have negative 13. Now you ask yourself the 2 digits, when you multiply you get 12, positive 12, but when you add you get negative 13. And the multiples of 12 we have that's 3, 4, 6, 2, 12, 1. This multiplied by this is 12, but when you add you're getting 7. This by this you get 12, but when you add you get 8. This by this you get 12, but when you add you get 13. Now meaning we consider these particular figures. And by now it is negative 13. We are going to have negative 12 and negative 1. We can rewrite our equation. We have 12x squared is going to be minus 12x minus x plus 1. For like terms, it's going to be 12x into x minus 1 minus 1 into x minus 1. The reason why I'm putting negative here is negative 1 divided by positive 1, you get negative. Therefore, we have 12x minus 1, then x minus 1. Now determine the value of x. You can have, or you can equate this to 0. 12x minus 1 is equal to 0, and 12x is equal to 1. Divide by 12, divide by 12. X is equal to 1 over 12. Or, if you pick this one, x is just going to be x is equal to 1. Now the values for x is 1 over 12 and 1. Then part C, the cost of ordering radios and 9 computers is for 458,000, and the total cost of 8 radios and 5 computers is 256,000. The items are later sold at a margin of 20% on each radio and 12% on each computer. Required the cost of each radio and each computer using matrix algebra. Now let's formulate our variables. So we have radios and the computers. I'm going to say the letter radio bx, and then computers. They are going to assume the value of y. I don't want to use r and c. Now we have 14. We are going to say 14x plus 9y should give us 458,000. And then 8 radius will be 8x plus 5y is equal to 56,000. Now this is a form of a simultaneous equation, but we are told to compute using matrix algebra. Now I have to rewrite this question in a matrix form. 14, 9, 8, 5, xy is equal to 458,000 to 56,000. Also this one we put in a matrix. After that, what we need to determine next, we find what we call the determinant. Determinant of a matrix. We are going to consider this particular diagonal. That will be 14 multiplied by 5 minus 8. We are multiplying by 9. 14 by 5, you get something like 70 minus 72. We have negative 2. Now our determinant is negative 2. Write the inverse of a matrix. Inverse of a matrix. But this is what we are going to consider when we write the inverse. Inverse looks like this: 1 over negative 2 into, now 14 and 5, they are going to interchange the positions. We have 5 and 14. By the remaining column, we just change the signs: negative 9, negative 8. Now this is an inverse of a matrix you are going to use to multiply with the product which we are having at this end. Now let me simplify this particular inverse. That is 1 over negative 2 divided by that one. You are going to get negative 2.5. Then there will be positive 4.5. This divided by this, you get positive 4. And then negative 2 divided by that, you should be getting negative 7. Now this one, I multiply this particular product, 458,000, and we have 256,000. Whatever we get here will be the values for x and y respectively. Now how do you multiply a matrix? It is a row and column. We are having negative 2.5. I multiply by 458,000 plus 4.5. We are multiplied by 256,000. And then here we have 4. We are multiplying by 458,000 plus negative 7 multiplied by 256,000 xy. If you just put in a calculator, let's try and see. That is negative 2.5 multiplied by 458,000 plus 4.5, we are multiplying by 256,000. We get a value for x as 7,000. That's the radial cost at 7,000. Then let's see for computer. Just edit here. That one is 4. And then at this point I put negative 7. Negative 7 to 56,000. The computer, that is 40. The value for radio is 7,000 and computer, which was y, it is 40. But we are told something. The items are later sold at a margin of 20% on radio and 12% on computer. Problem 2, we are told determine the selling price of each. Let's calculate the selling price of a radio. That is now is going to be 120 over 100. I multiply by 7,000. This one and that one. Yeah. Get something like Kenya shillings, 8,400. Then for computer, we had a profit or a margin of 12%. That is computer, which is 112 divided by 100 multiplied by 40,000. If we do that, what we get, let's see, the answer multiplying by 112 divided by 100. Here you get that the computers were sold at 44,800 respectively. That's the price of computer and radio. But D, we are told that Apex Limited invest in a particular project. The firm estimates that after X months of running, the cumulative profit in shillings from the project in thousands from the project is given by the function. That's the profit function. P is equal to negative x squared plus 15x minus 7, where x represents the time in the month. The project can run for 20 months at the most. The project can run for 20 months at the most. Calculate the break-even point in time, in month for the project. At a break-even point, remember the profit is equal to 0. Why? Because the total revenue is equal to total cost. Meaning at a break-even point, the firm does not make a profit. Therefore, the profit function, whatever we have been given as x squared plus 15x minus 7, this particular function should be equated to 0. That's a negative x squared plus 15x minus 7 is equal to 0. At a break-even point, the firm does not make a profit. Then we are told the quantity that maximizes the profit. Now we have to determine the value for x. Now in this case, it's forming something like a quadratic equation. The same way we did up there in the question number 3, Roman part B. We are going to use the same methods here. We have a negative x squared plus 15x minus 7. Now this one, let me use the formula method. But we have a negative b plus or minus everything under square root b squared minus 4ac everything over 2a. Let's put this into perspectives. This we have 15, and that case is going to be negative 15 plus or minus everything square root b squared 15 squared minus into bracket 4 multiplied by a is negative 1, remember, negative 1 multiplied by b, c is negative 7. Everything over 2 multiplied by negative 1. And here we are having, that is x negative 15 plus or minus everything into 15 squared. You get 225 minus negative becomes positive. Now 7 multiplied by 4, you get 28. Now that case will be minus 28. Everything over negative 2. 2 multiplied by negative 1, you get negative 2. X alone X alone, we can say that it's going to be negative 15 plus or minus, that is 225 minus 28. Then we find the square root of the answer. The square root of 197, that is 14.0. Let's just use 14. Everything over negative 2. And this x is equal to negative 15 minus 14 over negative 2. Here we have this plus this is negative 29. Negative 29 divided by negative 2. X is going to be 14. X is equal to 14.5. Or, in that case, if you assume the negative side, the positive side is going to be negative 15 plus 14 divided by 2, you have, but that is 1 divided by 2, you have negative, this is negative, the positive 0.5. We are going to take the profit, the value of x as 14.5. Now you are told that the total profit earned with the within the break-even point. Now we factor in, we just use this particular 14 in this particular equation we have given here. Is going to be P is equal to negative x squared plus 15x minus 7, and then the value of x we have is going to be now 14. Is negative, x is negative 14, sorry, it's 14. It's going to be 14.5 squared plus 15x, 15 multiplied by 14.5 minus 7. Therefore, if we put a calculator, it's going to be 14.5 squared multiplied by 14.5, that is 210.25 plus multiplied by 15, we get 217.5 minus 7. Now the answer we're adding to 10.25. This one minus 7. Have 420.75, but they were in thousands. Now we multiply by 1,000. 420.750. 420.750 as the profit earned within the break-even point.